Hello. We're going to be unboxing this today. All of this. It's going to be a lot. Hello there. Ugh. There's so much. Oh my gosh. Oh. Hello, everybody. Yeah, we're gonna be doing a live unboxing today. Hello. People popping in chat. Hello, we are live. If you're watching this after fact, we are doing this live, so you'll be hearing me talk to chat. But yeah, hello. So still waiting on mine. You guys are in Cali, right? Come on, Washington, let's go. Yeah, to be fair, we were sent this, so we will say also, this is sponsored by Steamforged Games, who makes this game. And so I don't know if it was part of the normal waves or if they sent this to us very specifically. Hi, Mike. Mike is also in chat. It said, impatiently still waiting on my pledge. Yes, so this, I believe it's because some people still have it. Some people literally, specifically already have it. And so I know it's out there. And it's starting to make the rounds. So I got mine a few weeks ago, and it's a lot of boxes. I played a game last night even. All right, let's go. What's up, Linnaeus? What's up, Quicksand? Hello. But yeah, so we got, again, this is sponsored by Steamforged Games, who we work with at this point fairly often, because they're lovely people. They're very lovely people. And we also want to point out there is going to be a new Kickstarter for a new Monster Hunter World, Iceborne. So I'll be popping that link in chat every once in a while here because there's a new one. Just getting that link real quick. But I hope everyone is having a wonderful morning. Yeah, so we're going to be doing an unboxing, an all-in pledge unboxing. And I'll also be kind of going over the game. So for these unboxings, these live unboxings that we do, we usually try and talk about the game on top of that. And so what we'll do is we'll unbox like one of the boxes, probably this one down here. And I have played the game, and so I can talk about how the game plays a little bit. Let's go a little bit of that, and then we'll go through and unbox everything else, and mostly look at the very cool minis, because I'm gonna tell you right now, this is one mini, this entire box. It's one of the biggest boxes in the entire thing. It's humongous. This is one mini. So, did y'all play the video game as well? No, we did not. And so that's one thing I guess I'll preface this whole thing with as well, is that we have not played the video game. And to be fair, pretty much every game that Steamforged comes out with, we have not played the video game counterpart. What's up, Board Game Geek? So for us, which some people would probably be like, oh, okay, but for us, I actually think it's I think it's a good perspective to have. So we work with Steamforged Games, but we don't generally play these kinds of games to begin with. And we also almost never have played the video games that a lot of these kinds of games are based off of. Like I covered the Elden Ring game, never played Elden Ring. We're covering the Monster Hunter World game, never played Monster Hunter World. So the thing is, I actually think that's a really important perspective to have, because we're just judging this based off of the game, because we don't know the source material and don't really care about the source material that much because we've never played it. So we're just basically judging this, is the game fun or is the game not fun? And that's it. And I actually think that's an important perspective to have, because a lot of people will be like, oh, because this is, to be fair, not true for this game. I'll tell you right now, I've played this game. I actually really like this game. So you don't need to have played Monster Hunter World to like the board game. And that does happen every once in a while, right? Where you're like, man, you have really got to like this video game to like this game. And at least for this one, and I also really liked Elden Ring as well. And so it's one of the things, I actually think it's a good perspective to have, because you aren't always going to be playing with other Monster Hunter World fans. And so if you bring this game out because you love Monster Hunter World and you're playing it with a bunch of people who don't know or love Monster Hunter World, will they still have a good time playing it? And I think that's a really important perspective to get. And I feel like a lot of times these kinds of big video game board games come out, that perspective is missing. A lot of times, a lot of the content creators they hire to cover them are just people who already like the video game. And I think it's important to be like, hey, is this still fun for people who don't like the video game or don't play the video game? And this one, I'm not gonna lie, I really like it. Said it was my, someone said there's their first Kickstarter. Is the next mini Murph Marathon, is this the next mini Murph Marathon game? No, it is not. We will be doing a playthrough of one of the boxes down here, obviously not everything. We'll be having a full playthrough of one of the scenarios on not this Monday, but next Monday, I believe, is if I remember my timing correctly. Yeah, and I do believe, as they said, they, yeah, I believe they made them compatible. But yeah, so getting back into game, but mostly because I spent over 2,000 hours into the series, my life so far. Yeah, I really do want to play Monster Hunter World. It seems really cool, and this has actually made me want to play it more because I like the concept of it. Hi, Sliver. Sliver is there in chat. He's a humongous Monster Hunter World fan and has been very excited. And I know likes the game quite a bit as well. Say, I know you have a big painting backlog, but man, I'd love to see you paint some of those. Well, Linnaeus, one of them is already painted because I wanted to paint one of them. And so you'll get to see one of the painted ones. So actually, let's go ahead and we'll kind of start getting into it because this might end up being kind of long because there's a lot to go through, and I do want to talk about the game. Hi, Mike. Bye, Mike. So we're going to switch over. So first of all, I guess I'll lay everything down. So this box, if I remember correctly, this is the only thing that's not included in the all-in pledge, just BT dubs. So if you see that, you got an all-in pledge, you didn't see it, I believe that one you have to buy separately on their website, but it's literally just a color variation on a monster you will already have. One mini. Just want to put it out there again, because that's bonkers. Okay. Yeah. So that's it. This is what we're going to be opening up today. Bonkers Town. I've played this one. Or I've played one scenario in this one, not even a ton. I only have 30 minutes before my next video call, though. Oh, that's a bummer. So I've been playing Monster Hunter World since 2004. Japan and English versions. I have a full room of the house that I have a board game room dedicated to it. So these babies are being painted and played. That's awesome. That's mad. Yeah, so we also got the blue and black. So this is not part of the Kickstarter, this is not part of the all-in pledge, but I'll talk about that when we get there. But it's basically just a color variation of monsters that are already in here because the monsters are blue and black in the game, and so they made blue and black ones here in case you're not painting them. I've never done any mini painting at all, but my spouse's partner does. I may nab supplies to start dipping my toes in that area. I will talk about it when I show the painted mini. I actually think these kinds of minis are a great place to start mini painting. I'll talk about why when we start looking at some of the minis, but I actually think this is a good place to start, despite the fact that they're humongous and therefore kind of overwhelming. I actually think it's a good place to start. I think this is a much better place to start than, let's say, the hunters in this game. I think the monsters are a great place to start because they're big monsters and they're not real so far as we know. And so you can't, in my opinion, you can't really mess them up because there's not like a, oh, this dragon wouldn't be purple. It's a dragon. You can do whatever you want. Whereas if you're painting like trying to paint like a realistic person and you make them purple, that would be like, why are they purple? Are they an alien? But with this, you kind of can't mess it up. You can kind of like throw a bunch of paint on it, throw a wash on it, and they will look great. They'll look great. You don't need anything else. And so, like, I honestly think this is a great place to start, despite them being humongoid. But if you already have the game, I would say go for it. Okay, you butts. We're going to start here. We're going to start with the Ancient Forest because, we're going to do kind of a little bit of an overview of how the game plays, and then we'll kind of go through everything, look at all the minis, mostly the minis, some of the cards maybe, and stuff like that. So I'm going to put these aside. Oh, my stars. Oh, I'm getting my workout this morning. One mini. Again, one mini. Ridiculous. Love it. You love to see it. The cool thing is you do paint this, man, these could all just be display miniatures. The miniatures, and Steamforged Games always does good miniatures, but the miniatures in this one are like crazy good. All right. Thanks to the nature of the game too, you can paint them whatever and chalk it up as a variant. Exactly. I mean, again, you could follow like how these actually look in the game, but you can just paint them however the heck you want. It's your minis. In general, with mini painting, paint them however the heck you want. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you painted something wrong. No, you didn't. All right, so you can see right here, big box. Although they do have Palico minis. Let's go. Yes, we will show off the Palico minis. There's also a chance I'll pronounce most of these monsters wrong, because again, I've never heard them pronounced. Boom, so this right here will tell you, kind of gives you a little bit of an organized. Let me punch in a little bit here. I guess we can now punch in. So the back side, so you open it up and oh my gosh, a dragon. But then you flip it over and this will basically tell you how to organize your tray specifically for when you're like saving your game, because this is a campaign game or kind of more of a quest-based game, kind of smaller quest-based campaigns. And so this is, it'll tell you how to save it here, which is nice. Again, publishers out there, if you're making a big game and you have a big insert, please, please, please give us a piece of paper and tell us how to put stuff back. Please, for the love of all that is holy. So, first off, boom, the miniatures. And Steamforged does this thing a lot, where if they have big winged creatures, they will put the wings separate and you can actually just essentially plug them in. Plug their wings in or plug their, whatever their very large bit is. And they do that, and I think it's good because they can actually put it in a box. So good morning, sir. Really enjoy the Bros Murph content. Best at Star Trek. Thank you so much. That is very, very kind. We appreciate you saying that. Okay. So don't worry, Nick. We will aggressively correct every mispronunciation. Good, good. Okay. So we got a bunch of minis here, as you can see. So we got, boom, I'll take them all out and we'll kind of look at them here. This is obviously the one I painted. Okay. So I guess we'll start with the Great Jagras. This is the only one whose name I know off the top of my head because I've actually played this one. So we'll kind of zoom in so you can actually see the minis. So these obviously, I'll tell you right now, these do not come painted. Don't think that they do. So this is the Great Jagras. It's kind of a big lizard thing, but it's got a lot of hair. One of these is not like the other. What's the difference between these two things? I don't know what it is. But yeah, so this is the Great Jagras I painted up because I've never really painted like a monster. And so I really wanted to try. I think it turned out pretty good. I really was trying to do like a speed paint on it and not take a lot of time. This was probably like 2.5 hours, 3 hours or so. I think it turned out okay. They got really good muscle definition on this mini particular. I think it has really, really good muscle definition. So yeah, so that is the Great Jagras right there, blam. So if you're looking top down, you're like, where's he going? Where's he looking? Where's he going? So that is the Great Jagras right there. We have this one right here. Focus up. There we go, boom. So we got bam, very, very cool. And you can see there are these quadrants on the bases. We'll talk about that in a second. If you ever play the Dark Souls game, this uses the same arc system where sometimes their attacks will attack an entire arc. An entire arc is going to be the quadrant, that kind of quadrant. So if it's the tail arc, they're basically doing some big old tail spin at you. And so it'll go in that arc, basically. So very, very cool. I really can't wait to paint. I think I'm gonna make this tail, I'm gonna make it like a peacock. I'm gonna make it super, super colorful. Absolutely colorful. So boom, really, really nice mini. And then we got this kind of like hairy dinosaur. We got a, looks like a camel. This is a camel saur. We'll call it a camel saur because it's got a hump that you can sit on because it's very, very docile, obviously. Really, really cool though. Really cool mini. And this one will be nice because it won't be hard to get under here. The only problem with monster minis is if they're four-legged like this, it's hard to paint in here. It's hard to get in there. This one though, because it's so upright, gonna be pretty easy to paint. Toby Kalachi. Okay, that's their name. Cool, cool, cool. Again, I don't have all the names memorized, my apologies. So boom, very, very cool. And then this one here, you can see this is gonna be one of the, I believe one of the dragons that's in the colored one. And so you can see the big dragons, or things with big old wings, they actually come like this. It actually just looks almost like this one, kind of in a way. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take these wings, and on here it actually shows left and right. So it actually tells you which wing is which. And then it's actually just going to slot in, if I can put it in correctly. Boom. And they're just going to slot in like that. And that way you can create your big dragon. Personally, I would love to glue these in, but then it won't fit back into the box. I'm not getting this one in there correctly. Boom, boom, boom. And you may also need to like, yeah, this one's not going in there very well, but you probably might need to shave these down a little bit to make them fit if they're a little loose. But nonetheless, and then you get a full, cool looking dragon. And it's nice because then it fits back in the box, which again, otherwise it super wouldn't. This would have to be the entire box basically because their wings particularly take up so much room. And they do it this way. And I think it's actually a really, these are this dark. They're actually, the camera's making it look a little bit darker. You can probably, let me go back here. You can probably see a little better. The camera, when we zoom this camera in, it brings down the f-stops in it, and it makes everything look a little bit darker. But you can see, this is how light they are. They're not that dark, but they are, I would say, slightly darker than normal in terms of the gray, as far as like gray minis go. They're a slightly darker gray, but this is probably a better representation of how light they actually are, as opposed to the down cam. The down cam's gonna be a little bit darker because we're zoomed in. But yes, so that is our 4 monsters in the Ancient Forest. Boom, right there. So that is who you can be fighting. And you're gonna be fighting these in essentially quests. You're going on a campaign, and each quest you can choose which monster you wanna go fight. Which monster you're gonna go hunt. And you can hunt the same monster multiple times, but there's multiple reasons of why you might want to switch it up. So we'll go ahead and kind of put those off to the side, and then let's get into the rest of this box. So that is, again, the monsters. And again, they have their space right here, which is nice. Oh my gosh, a board. So, again, the board uses the node system that is in like Dark Souls as well, if you've played that. So you have the board here, and it has these different nodes on it. And so your hunters will be on the nodes. The monsters will also be on these nodes and going around like that. The boards are also double-sided. They have different art. When you play the game, it does not matter what side you choose. So if you want to choose a side that you think works better with that monster, or you want to choose a side just because you think it's prettier, you can do that. There isn't really any difference between the two boards. There will be some terrain tiles, but those are actually little tiles you'll put on here. So that way you can manipulate the board to what the scenario needs it to be. What a cool beanie you have on. Thank you so much. I like this beanie a lot. I refuse to say toque. So wings are notoriously tough to align properly on minis. Little green stuff, fix that right up. Yeah, you probably need to shave it down a little bit. That's going to be a problem with any. It's one of the things, either they need to attach them and have all much bigger boxes. You saw how big these boxes are, or they need to put them like that. It's just how it is. It's just manufacturing stuff. Actually, combine the minis in one box and all the other board game stuff in the other box. Interesting. You could definitely do that because you could just kind of stack these on top of each other, I suppose. Okay, sorry, it's getting a little bit of tea, wet my palate. So this is the board, very cool. Then we have rule books, and they actually have a little spot right here. So there is a rule book, and then there is the quest book. The quest book is going to, again, have your different quests. We have like the Great Jagras right here. I'm going to kind of give you some information there. And it'll basically, each monster will have different quests. And what you need to do to win the game, let's see if I can find one. Yes, what you need to win the game is you need to beat, you need to beat one of these 4-star tempered investigation quests. That's how you beat the game. I'll tell you right now, you cannot start with one of those because you will get destroyed immediately. The whole point of this game, and if you play Monster Hunter World, the video game, it's very similar as far as I've been told. You're going to different quests, and you're beating these monsters, and you're harvesting these monsters to essentially get better gear and get better weapons to basically level up. And then you can take harder and harder monsters on. And so you're basically going to have to do a number of quests to get to one of these to even have a chance. And so that is how you're going to beat the game. But you're going to be doing different quests starting with easier ones, because when you start off, you're going to have basically just your basic stuff. And then you'll kind of get cooler and cooler and cooler as you go along, which is pretty darn cool. So then we have these right here. These are your fatigue boards. These are essentially your player boards. We'll kind of talk about how those work here in a second, because again, we'll do a little overview. There is a booklet here, so you can so that you can track your stuff, because you'll need to track like what different stuff you have, your different inventory, health potions, that kind of stuff. So you have a little board right there. And then we have all of these, which I'll talk about in a second. These are basically going to be the way your kind of level up system in terms of your gear, and then the various monster cards, which we'll talk about in a second. And then we got a whole bunch of different stuff. These are our terrain tiles. So basically, if you need a bush will basically give you, you're kind of hiding in a bush, so it'll give you -1, threat, I think is what it's called. I want to say intimidation, but I'm pretty sure it's threat. So everything like that, rocks and stuff. So this is the way you can change the board, so that way they don't need other boards. And so, yeah, we'll kind of, let me see exactly how I want to bring all this out. Yeah. How do I want to bring all that out? All right, cool. Actually, I think I have everything set up in one of these already because I was playing it. Let's grab a couple of things out of here, and that way I can kind of show off how those things work. Boom, boom, boom. Let's grab some of those. We'll grab these hunters because we have more minis to look at, although these feel so small. They feel so small. Okay. Okay, so now I got some stuff. Let's put this to the side. Okay, so first of all, let's zoom in very much so. What's a core thing? And let's look at these hunter minis. So each of the base boxes here comes with 4 hunters, and they all are different, and they do different stuff. And then we'll kind of talk about how the game plays. We'd love to watch a stream. We will be doing a playthrough of this, again, in 2 weeks. So you'll be able to see an edited playthrough of it. So we have the different minis here. Very, very cool. Big old bow. I played two-handed for the solo, which I think is how you always play. Very, very cool. But again, it looks just like this is the smallest monster. You know? It's like, my gosh. Very, very cool, though. Absolute banger bow. We got all this one right here. Super cool. Lots of spiky bits. So this is why I think the monsters are a better starting place to paint, is one, these are significantly smaller, which are just generally harder to paint. And these ones you kind of want to get right? So my thing is like start off on the thing that you can kind of successfully mess up. Let's put it that way. First thing I ever painted was zombie side, because I was like, I can paint a bunch of zombies. If I mess them up, they'll just look more haggard. So this is the big old blade. Look at that thing. Oh, how do you even swing that thing? You'll love to see it. Boom. And then right here, which is kind of the dual wields. Very, very cool. So those are our hunters. Bam. You'll love to see it. Okay, so now we have our hunters and our minis. They are, the monsters are so big. So basically how the game's gonna go, let me go ahead and kind of zoom out and we'll kind of go through a thing. So first thing you're going to do when you choose, I won't spoil any of the stuff, but basically when you choose a quest that you're going to do, you're going to start with an assigned quest. An assigned quest is these blue ones, and that's essentially going to be the first time you're coming across that monster. You can't jump straight to here. You kind of got to like study the monster a little bit. So you're going to do an assigned quest. This is the Great Jaguars. The Great Jaguars eat stuff. That's about the amount I know about the Great Jaguars. It's a big old lizard, and it eats stuff. And so you're going to do an assigned quest. And the assigned quests are going to be a little bit easier. And then again, they're going to get harder and harder kind of as you go through. And it'll tell you basically how many time cards you're going to have. That's how much time you're going to have. Basically how many turns you're going to have to beat this scenario. Then I'll have a scout fight level and then an assigned starting point. So I won't kind of linger on this too much. Basically this part right here, the hunting, this is where you're going hunting or you're searching and then you're going to fight. But you're hunting for the monster, but you need to find them. So this is kind of like a little choose-your-own-adventure tale where you'll do something, choose to do something, and then it'll say, now go to this entry and do that, and now go to this entry and do that. And basically what that's gonna do is it's gonna do a couple different things. One, it could hurt you. If you choose a bad area to go into, you might end up getting hurt or something like that. But you're basically gonna be getting materials, and you might get something like a potion or something like that. They did a great job bringing the scale into the game. Yes. Yeah. Good luck fighting that thing. Good luck. So basically, it's a little choose your own adventure tale, and then basically when you get to the end of it, it'll say, hey, you found the Great Jagras in this point, in this situation, and now you'll move on to the fight. This part is not very long, I will say. It's probably like, I don't know, 10 minutes, less maybe, depending on how kind of quickly you go through it. But that's when you're regaining materials. You need materials because materials is how you're going to build new weapons and armor. And so you do have to get materials and stuff. And then it's also kind of just a little bit of a little quest. And then on top of that, you're also going to be getting scout fly tokens, which are basically going to, once you're done with this part of the searching, the scout fly tokens that you have are basically going to dictate an extra behavior card that you're going to add into the deck, into the behavior deck here. So basically, I believe these two were two of them. Yeah, this it is. So basically, these three right here are for the Great Jagras right here. So basically, these with a hand there are the ones that you're going to, the scout fly level is going to determine which one of these you put into the behavior deck. The rest of the behavior deck is always the same, and you're going to add one of these. It'll be kind of a nasty attack. So if you have a certain amount, you'll add the Jagras spit, the forward roll, or the retreating swing. And so basically, you figure out that, you'll add that into the deck. These two won't be used in this particular fight. So that's kind of what the scout fly limit is. So basically, you're searching around. Once you find them, then you'll jump into the fight, and then this book goes away until you are starting another quest. So boom. So basically, you're going to be starting, you're on the board, and so is the Monstar. And then on top of all that, there are different monster boards. And the monster boards are different depending on what kind of quest you're going on. So the Great Jagras here has this the blue star. That's an assigned quest. That's the one you have to start with. But then they get harder and harder. So these will actually change out and have different abilities and just generally be stronger. 50 health, 60 health, 65 health, bigger attacks, all that kind of stuff. So you will actually choose a specific one. We'd assume we're going to do the assigned quest, because that's what you have to start out with. And again, there's multiple of these for all of them, like the Azure Rathalos. That's that big old dude, who is blue, which is why there's a blue version. So you're basically going to go like, boom. You're going to have them out there. They're going to, again, have their behavior deck, which is boom. And then, again, you're going to start on the spots. The quest will tell you where you're allowed to start. And then, boom, they're also going to be there as well. So they're going to be rolling around trying to fight you. You are going to have your little player board here. And this is going to be your stamina track. And this is going to be very important. Boom. So I'm going to get this kind of set up here. Put this upside down. Boop. And you're also going to have some armor. So we have like a helm, something on your feet, and then something on your body. And then you're going to have your damage deck. Wait, hold on. What am I doing? What's going on here? Oh, shoot, I had the wrong thing. Hold on. Let me grab the right thing. Let me grab the right thing. Hold on. I'm just going to grab this. This probably isn't, that's definitely way too large of a damage deck, but we'll just go with it for right now. So basically, you're going to have cards in your hand. And these are going to be different attacks that you can basically do. And then you're also going to have a damage deck. So how the general rounds are going to go is the monster is going to go first. You're going to flip over one of their cards. And then this here is going to basically dictate how they're going to behave. So boom. So they're doing a head slam. So in this case, what this means is this is who they're going to target. This is going to be the closest enemy. This is how much they're going to move. Again, this kind of looks like Dark Souls. If you play Dark Souls, it has kind of a similar system here. They're going to move forward twice, and then they're going to be doing 7 damage, and they're going to be attacking their entire front arc. So basically, what that means, so we'll go back out, sorry. So basically what that means, let's say I'm here, and then way over there, they're going to come after the ticks, they're going to move twice, they're going to go boom, and they'll actually move and then push you, and then they're going to attack. And they're going to attack everything in this arc. So everything in this quadrant, they're going to attack. So if they were over here, they would be attacking everything like that in that quadrant. And these lines line up. It's probably a little easier to show with like this. If you can see those lines, a little bit on the back here. So the lines will basically point to a quadrant, and they're always going to be facing, the lines will always face up with these different nodes. And so basically they're going to be attacking everything in this line because they're doing a huge like, duh, kind of thing. And then they're going to be hitting you for a lot. I will say in this game, you need to be dodging. Dodging is a big, big part of the game. You will move around and dodge. On these cards right, I'll do like this, I'll have to zoom in. Right there, that 2 right there, that is how much dodge you need to have to avoid that attack. I will tell you right now, you only have 8 health. This does 7 damage. You need to dodge. You basically need to try and never get hit because getting hit is a big, big deal. So on your cards here, so we'll kind of look at our player board now. So on our player board, we have our little fatigue track right here, right? So basically, you're going to be playing cards out to your fatigue track. To dodge, there is an agility number up here in the top right corner. To dodge, in that case, we need to dodge to a value of 2. We'll basically put a card down our fatigue track equal to that amount. So in that case, it's going to be 2. We have successfully dodged this attack, which means we don't take any hits. We don't take any status effects like stun or paralyzing. That. Nothing happens. They just straight up missed, which is very good. You need that to be happening a lot. But one thing that dodging does is it clogs up your stamina track. And we'll talk about that in 1 second. But basically, you do not want your stamina track to be clogged up if you can help it. It's very bad. Boop. So then on the bottom of the card right here, there's this number here in blue, which is a 1, and then a kind of a gray number down here in 2. The turns in this game are not normal. It basically means you're going to draw a card for the monster, and then this card is going to dictate how many turns you get to take before they get to take another turn. So basically, in this case, the number at the top there, that blue number, that's how many hunters get to go. Hi, Deadpan. And then the bottom number is how many cards you're allowed to play into your stamina track. So in this case, it's 1 and then 2 cards. So only 1 hunter gets to go, and then the Great Jaguars will bring out another card. And this one you can see is 2. So 2 hunters will get to go after this one, and they can each play 3 cards. And so that is how you dictate the turns, is basically by how much delay there is in between their attacks. I'm glad, Pod. So this is everything I wanted from a DS board game without all things I didn't want, wearing my favorite skin. Glad I backed this all in. Here's the thing. I like this game because ultimately the game itself is pretty simple. It's just the fight. Sure, there's a little bit of like questing when you're like going this, but again, this part, the little quest part, is very quick. And it's just a fun little way to get stuff. But the rest of it is just the fight. There's nothing else. It's just the fights aren't overly complicated. They're just fights. That's all it is. So then, when it comes to your turn, you're now going to be playing cards into your fatigue track. So there are certain cards. So you'll be playing cards into your fatigue track, and then basically this is the thing that you're doing, and it will have range down here, so you're going to need to be like, you know, adjacent to them. This is actually the wrong character. Let's technically do this one. Adjacent to them, and then basically it'll tell you what you do here. So you'll draw +1 damage for each other overhead slam you've played this turn. So let's say I had already done one. So now I'm going to get +1 damage because I've already done it. I've got like boom, boom, because the game is a lot about trying to make your cards work in terms of big combos. You kind of want to go like bam, 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 and do these kind of cards that work together to do bigger stuff. So in this case, you would then draw damage cards, which are going to be in here. Boom. One thing I like about the game, no dice. I don't like combat games with dice because I understand that cards are just as random, but they don't feel as random in my heart, basically is what I'm getting at. I like card-based damage ones. Also, as far as I can tell, there's no 0 damage cards, which means you're always doing something, which is huge in my opinion. So then you'll draw damage cards based off of how many damage cards you draw here, and they can kind of go all over the place. Your weapons, we'll kind of show the weapon right down here on your weapons. This will dictate how many damage cards and what type of damage cards are in your damage deck. So as you get better weapons, your damage decks will get stronger, which I actually think is really, really nice. And so as you get new stuff, you then will start switching out your decks. These attack cards here will also switch out depending on whatever weapons you have, which is really, really cool. So now one thing you might have noticed is that our fatigue track is filling up. If you ever get to the end where your fatigue track is completely full, you can no longer play any cards. You can't play cards to dodge. You can't play cards to do anything. So managing your fatigue track is a really big part of the game. And actually it's a puzzle part of it that I actually really like. I think it adds a nice little puzzle. Because you can't just play as many things as you want. One, because the behavior card will dictate how many cards you're actually allowed to play to your fatigue track, and then you don't want to fill up. And there are also very powerful cards that have this kind of end to it, that kind of orange end. It looks exactly like this. Whenever you play one of these really powerful cards, your turn ends. Or rather, you can't play any more cards here at all. So you have to like be pretty conservative about when you use these ones right here, which is pretty darn cool. So at the end of your turn, once you've done your things, every hunter will draw a time card. This time card, one, will always remove 1 card from your fatigue track, so you're never like completely bogged down. And there are also cards here that will allow you to remove stuff from your fatigue track. And then they will also sometimes have other stuff that happens on the bottom. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, just time is going by. And the time cards were actually significantly more interesting than I thought, because sometimes they'll change around your threat levels, they move stuff, they help you, they hurt you. They're actually significantly more interesting than I was kind of expecting. I thought they were just gonna be a timeout mechanic, and they kind of weren't, which was nice. So that's basically how you play. You're going around and you're trying to hit the monster, hurt them, and let's quickly talk about them. And then we'll kind of go on to the rest of the unboxing. But I did want to do a bit of an overview, as I think it's useful, and I think the game is pretty cool. So there's a couple different things about a monster board. So we have the great Jagras here. So one, it'll tell you kind of like where their strengths and weaknesses are. So these are different kinds of elements, because you do have elemental attacks, which will basically do damage based on one of the elements. There's like fire, ice, electricity, water, that kind of stuff. And so it'll basically tell you what they're strong against and what they're not strong against. So an X means they're immune. So basically, if you do any kind of elemental attack with water, it won't do anything to the Great Jagras. If it has 1 star, that means it's pretty vulnerable to it. 2 stars means it has some resilience against it. Again, X means you can't do it at all, basically. And then these are different stun abilities, or different status abilities is what I'm thinking of. So like stun, paralyze, weaken, all those kinds of different things. And it basically will tell you, again, how strong or weak they are to that, which is super, super nice. They will have some kind of ability. So gluttonous here is each time this monster deals 1 or more damage to a monster, it regains 1 lost health because it's eating and stuff like that. Can you show an example of the arena gear setup? The arena gear, I'm a little confused on what you mean by arena gear, if you can clarify that a little bit. So a big part of Monster Hunter World is trying to break different parts of the monster. So there are 3 different parts of this monster right here. There is the head, Great Jagras, big old head here. There is the tail, which is this part right here. And then there are the 2 claws, the 2 flanks, essentially. So as you're fighting, there are going to be certain cards that have this little break symbol in the middle here. And it's these little break tokens right here. So whenever you do that, you're going to put a break token on here. And basically what you're trying to do is break these parts of the monster. You're specifically trying to hit specific parts of the monster. In this case, you're trying to hit the claws. In this case, once you get to this level, in this case is three break tokens, you have then broken that part of the monster. And at the end of end of that fight, if you win, you're going to get extra stuff, basically. And you really, really want to do that. I'll show why here in a second. And then so basically you can break the different parts. If you break different parts, you're basically going to get a lot more stuff. And it's really, really useful. And then again, you have their health. If you ever reduce them down to 0 health, you win. Your fighters, your hunters can die, or rather they can faint. You can faint up to 2 times and still be in the game. Strategic fainting in the game is actually kind of important because when you faint, you get to clear your fatigue. And so there's a couple times when I was playing where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take this hit. I'm just going to take it on the chin, and I'm just going to, we're just going to go with it. We're just going to go with it like that. And so I think strategic fainting is actually a good thing. So I think in the back of the book, in the Jump to the Fight quest, that don't go through the campaign or anything, you just get with preset gear. Oh, the presets, we'll have to see. I don't want to take too much time going through everything because I have some of it organized, but not all of it. So maybe I'll have to double check in a sec, but we might not be able to do that here. But again, we'll have a playthrough coming out in a couple weeks, so you'll get to see the whole thing there. But basically, you're trying to break different parts of the monster. If you kill them, you win. You win that quest. Great. So then what happens? Well, one, you win, which is great. You'll love to see it. But then on the back here is going to be a list of rewards that you can get, and you will roll dice depending on how well you did, and you will get these different things. So it's a bit of a random thing you get, but as you can see right here, gain 1 if the part was broken. So if you broke the Great Jagras claws, which again are this part right here, you will just automatically get one of those. You could also roll another one randomly and get it that way, but you can guarantee that you're going to get these things, which is really, really important because you want to. Because there are going to be different, essentially kind of like tech trees that you can go up. So this right here is for the dual blades. And what this is going to basically say what you have to turn in to then upgrade your weapon. So this is kind of like a little tech tree. So right now, I believe we started with the matched slicers here, but you can upgrade to the bone hatchets rather, and we'll kind of zoom in on this, you can really see it. So that, to get this one, you'd have to have monster bones small 1. You'd have to have 1 monster bone small, and then you can upgrade to this, and you can see it changes out what damage is going to be in your deck. So in this case, we're going to lose a couple level 1s from 10 to 7, but we're going to gain a level 2. So you're actually thinning out your deck a little bit and getting bigger, badder stuff. No, Dave Phillips, you cannot reason with their monsters. They're very angry all the time. I think it's real sad, you know. Or you can get these bone hatchets or these bone hatchets. And the reason why you might want to get this one versus this one versus this one is depending on kind of where you want to go down here. And there are, these are all based off of like different monsters. So different monsters are going to require certain things. So like, let me double check. I think that is the second one. Maybe it's the third one. Trying to think about, yeah. Yeah. So basically, like this one down here is specifically for this monster, what I believe is the Tobi-Kadachi. And so this one, you'll need specifically the Tobi-Kadachi claws. You'll need 2 of them to be able to go up to these hatchets, which you can see are much, much stronger. So if you want this weapon, you have to go fight this monster to go get that part. So that's why you need to switch up which monsters you're fighting and why you might want to choose to fight this monster versus this monster versus this monster is because you might need certain parts to level up your weapons and to get new weapons in a specific way. Because again, they're going to go down different spots. So again, this is the Great Jagras track. This is the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the 4 monsters in here. On top of that, you can also level up your armor because you do have armor. Armor is going to allow you to block. And you can see right down here, we have some armor cards. Our helm and our chainmail do nothing. They give us absolutely no blocking. But our trousers, our chainmail trousers, do give us a little thing. This right here is just going to be 1 block. It's 1 less damage you have to take. So now you can get different things. And so right here you want to get like, this is the Great Jagras. We can get a Jagras helm, which is going to take 1 Jagras hide, 1 Jagras mane, 1 Jagras claw, and an ancient bone. So you can see right here, if we had broken those parts, we would have gotten a claw, we would have gotten a hide, and guess what? We would have gotten a mane. So that's why you want to break certain parts, because you can guarantee that you're going to get those. So now I can have the Great Jagras helm, which is going to be better. It's going to give me some water resilience. So it's basically if something's hitting us with a bunch of water, we can block that automatically, and then we also get 1 more block. And then again, you have to kind of go boom, boom, down the lines like that. So that's why it's important to fight specific monsters because you are trying to build things in a very specific way. So that is basically a quick overview of how the game plays. It was kind of quick and slapdash there, but that is a rough idea of how it plays, what you do, all that kind of stuff, and now we'll get to the rest of the stuff. But nonetheless, if you have any questions about, again, how the game plays, just pop in the chat right here and I can answer it real quick. But I'll kind of get this put away here. But yeah, so it's just a really cool system. I like it a lot. Like, I think it's a blasty blast. Boom. And okay, that's where that is. Let's see, I'm missing some. So yeah, so that is what you do. So you're going around trying to beat the quest, trying to level up, basically make yourself as cool as humanly possible, and then just rock it out. And again, every single monster has their own behavior cards, all that different kind of stuff. And yeah, okie dokie. So I'll kind of put all this back in here, and then we'll take a look at all the other stuff. There we are. Boom. Put this in the wrong spot. There we go. Alrighty. It's also relatively easy to put away, which is very nice. Okay. Boom. 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 All right. Bam. All right, so now we will kind of, forgot the books. Bam. So again, it fits in here very, very nicely, which is great. Ugh. Bam. All right, let's see if I can remember exactly where these go. One thing I have to do is take out wings. Boom. Nice. So that's right. This one goes across. Dun, dun, dun. You're going to be here. I believe you're going to be there. You're going to be not right there. Boom, just like that. And then you're going to be blam like that. So they fit in there very nicely. Boom, boom, boom. What am I doing wrong here? Gosh, what did I do here? What did I do? Oh no. Freaking out, everybody. I'm freaking out. Oh my gosh, I can't get this one in here. What am I doing wrong? Why can't I figure this one out? Did I not just do that like a billion times? Oh gosh, I don't know what the heck I did here. Okay, what orientation have I not tried yet? So apparently this is the only part that's hard for me to put back. Everything else is extremely easy. Oh my gosh. Oh, there it is. Gosh, I put it the wrong way a billion times. Alrighty. Sorry. And now I can't put this either. Oh my gosh. What is my life here? Sir? Wow. Real struggle with that one. It wasn't even that hard. All right, so that is the ancient forest right there. Sir, boom. Okay, so that is the first box. And so now we'll look at the other core box, and then, again, I'm not going to open up everything, like all the cards and all that kind of stuff. We'll kind of take a very quick look at the other core box, and then we'll just kind of go through all the rest of the stuff. So, boom. So that's the Ancient Forest. And boom, now we have the Wildspire Waste. And again, make sure to check out, there is a new Kickstarter going to be coming up for this, the Iceborne. So link for it right there. There'll be a link down in the description below as well. So, again, same, look at this. Gosh, terrifying. And again, same thing, tells you how to organize, which is super, super nice. Ooh, we got some more wings. Oh my gosh. All right, let's bring out these minis. We'll take a look at these. First, of course. Boom. So who wants to get those wings back in the box? Yeah, it's funny. It was just I couldn't find the dang orientation. So first up, we have this one right here. This kind of crazy looking bird with a big old tongue. Look at that thing. Ugh, terrifying. I hate it in a good way. Looks almost like these look almost like feet, like frog feet. How does this thing even fly? Makes no sense. Right there, boom. We got another one, again, also very low to the ground. This is a very low hanging one. I think this one I'll probably end up doing with an airbrush because it'll be tough to get in there, but very, very cool, very aquatic looking one. Again, I don't know these monsters, so I'm sure they're like, oh yeah, that's that monster. Boom, very cool though. I love the scales. And again, the minis are really good. And these minis have so much texture. That's why I think they're a really good starting one, because again, they're kind of just hard to mess up. Put a base coat on them, a thin base coat and a wash, they'll look great. So boom, and then we got the big old hammerhead looking thing. Love this one. God, this is cool. Such cool scales. Big old, man, I do not want to get headbutted by this thing. Look at that. So boom. And again, they all have those arcs on the bottom right there to show you where they are. I would love to base the minis, but I don't want to obscure those arcs. It's the only thing about it. But I probably could do it with like sticks or something. That'd be kind of cool. We got this one right here, and then we got the big one. The big one with the big wings. So dude, look at the size. Oh my God, look at my hand. Oh my lordy. All right, so this is the left wing here. Boom. And then the right wing. Boom. So those ones went in really nice. So that one is bam, right there. Big old club tail. I feel like that would throw off the aerodynamicness of it, but so freaking cool. I mean, absolutely. These are such good display miniatures. Paint them up and don't even keep them in the box. Just keep them like on shelves. Just bam. So cool. And again, the wings, again, are detachable because that way they can actually fit in box. Very, very cool. That would be cool, Pots to go. That'd be very, very cool. Very cool. Such good like texturing on the wings here. It's like there's so much texture, so much detail in these minis. They really did like really kill it with the minis. All right, so that's the, I guess the biggies, we could call them, because they're not really mini. And then again, we got our thing right here. I haven't punched this one because I haven't played this one. I played the other one, but these are the punch boards. Oh my stars. And then the board, which I'll show the two sides. Again, same thing where it's like, it'll be a board. I really like this side. It's kind of like purple manzanita side looking. Very, very pretty. But same thing where you could use either side. It's up to you based off of like what monster. Like I'd probably use this hammerhead dude in here because it just seems like they would live in there. But man, I like how bright this one is too. It's very, very nice. Very cool. Ah! It's just like playing with toys. I love it. I mean, they are toys, let's be honest. That's all they are, and I love it. Okay, and then we got rulebook, same thing. Rulebook's gonna be the same. There's not really any different, as far as I know, there's not any different rules in this one, just different monsters. And again, quest book, same thing for our 4 different monsters. It'll work the same way. And then again, we have all of our stuff in here, all of our different, you know, cards, all of our stuff, and then we'll take a quick look at the monster, not the monsters, these monsters, your hunters rather. And then we'll move on. Yeah, again, this one's gonna be much quicker because I guess we can take a look at the monster boards too. Let's do that real quick. So we got boom. So these are gonna be the assigned quests right here. The Brute Wyvern, terrifying. And we go all the way through to the Puke or Pokey, is that what you're saying? That one doesn't actually fly. There you go. Okay. Oh gosh. Girotodus, that's kind of like the aquatic looking one. And then the Flying Wyvern, the Diablos. Bonkers. And then again, we have our tech trees for the things. So we have the Switch Axe, the Insect Glaive, the Charge Blade, and then the Heavy Bowgun. And then, so the cool thing is there's, actually I didn't show this off last time, but there's this also in the Ancient Forest box, where there is because you can use these hunters in any game. You can use these hunters in the Ancient Forest, in the Wildspire Waste, which is what this one is. Juridontis. Yep, there we go. Nailed it, first try. It tunnels and gores you mercilessly. Sounds terrible. Sounds terrifying. Oh my gosh. So then basically, so this is, if you're playing like these characters, like this big old blade, in the Ancient Forest, you'll use this one, this upgrade, because this has the monsters from that set, whereas this has the monsters from this set, the Wildspire Waste. So you can switch them over, and they did give you different upgrades and all that stuff based off of which one you're actually playing, which I think is really cool. So boom, there is our monsters and stuff, and let's get in here and let's look at these old minis. So yeah, these are so small, so teeny, so punitive. Okay, so this I think is our heavy bow gun, which is just bonkers big. That's a huge, it's such a huge crossbow kind of thing. Very cool looking though. Very, very good again. A little bit small. You can just ride it. You can ride it like this. See? Perfect. Easy. Unbeatable combo right there. Boom. And then we have right here. Very, very cool. Again, lots of spiky bits. If you want to paint spiky bits, paint these or Drukari, basically. Alrighty. And then kind of your sword and shield, which is very cool. These people must have such strong deltoids to be able to carry these weapons. My gosh, look at them. Look at them. Okay. Yeah. And then big ol' axe. Look at this thing. The strength to hold this thing up. Crazy huge axe. Love to see it. Boom. Very cool. So those are our hunters next to, again, our monsters. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You love to see it. Okay, so that is the Wildspire Waste box. Again, we're not going to go into everything in it because there's quite a bit. But yeah, so that is that one. Sorry, just getting these back in here. Getting these back in here. Boom. And boom. Okay, and then we're going to put these. Sorry, I just realized I'm off camera. So again, you get another one of these. Everything else is exactly the same. Different weapons and stuff, of course, but everything else is pretty much the same. Boom. All right, let's see if I can get these ones back in with more success. Okay, boom. All right, first of all, wings out. Come on, there we go. Boom, okay. Who do I think should go in first? Are you there? I think you are there, yep. Because there's a specific order, and I did not look up, I think that one's there, which means, ooh, where are you then? If you're there, maybe you're not there. Okay, this is the only puzzle you have to solve. See, that can't be this one. This one has to be here. Just don't know how this one goes in. Because you're going to have to go, I should probably put you in first, your big one. Because you're going to have to go in like that. That's the easy one. House rule, more rewards if you get everything away first try. Yeah, there's definitely some trial and error in terms of this. Okay, so that one's there for sure. So then are you? Oh, you're there. Okay, okay. And again, I've only done this once. I have opened everything before and then put it away, but that was the only time. So that's how we're going in. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Now the wings. Can I get the wings first try again? I got that part in first try. Okay, let's see, let's see. Oh, I wasn't paying attention to which side is which. I think this is the right side. Easy, first try. Boom. Okay, these ones are easier. These ones are way simpler. This one was not as bad. Okay, so that is terrifying. That is terrifying. That's the Wildspire way. So those are the two core sets. Hi, Slivers. We're just about to go over these. So those are the two core sets right there. The Ancient Forest and the Wildspire Waste. So if you wanted to get Monster Hunter World, you will have to get a core set. Everything else you cannot play on its own. You will need one of these two. But again, they work pretty much exactly the same. There's just different monsters. So Diablos is one of my favorite and most hated monsters in Monster Hunter World. All right, yeah, everyone put your favorite monster in the chat if you haven't already. So is there a mountain mechanic in the game? As far as I know, no, there is not. But maybe in Iceborne, but I don't believe so in this one. At least if there is, I have not come across it. But how cool would that be? Okay, where to go from here? You know what, let's go ahead. Let's go through this one, because this is going to be like more hunters and stuff. And then the rest is basically all just monsters. New monsters, different monsters. Biggest monsters, man, Dave Phillips, gosh, you ain't wrong. That is too real, sir. All right, so this is the Hunter's Arsenal. Ooh. So it's going to have a little bit of rule book. So it's basically going to be like how stuff works. There's also going to be a little bit of quests in here. They're all going to have their own little quest book because, again, they're going to be adding monsters and stuff. Then we got some tokens here. We have right here. So we have, again, and these will be separated. So we open this up. These are going to be separated based off of the two core sets. So this one is like the longsword for the Ancient Forest, and there should be a longsword for the Wildspire Waste. So again, depending on what core set you're playing in, you can play both of these for life. So Rathian for life. Okay, okay. I just want to see Pugu. Is Pugu in here? I think I already, did I already show off that one? I think I already showed off that one. And then we have lots and lots and lots of cards because all these hunters are going to have their own cards and their own upgrades and all that kind of stuff. And is this one that has, no, okay. All right, then let's bring out these hunters. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, let's grab it from the wrong spot. Right. Right. Should also pay attention to how these go back in, although these ones will be a little bit easier because they're going in lying down. So this one, again, is all hunters. and a bunch of cards. So some new quests, some new rules. We'll go in. Poogie's a little pig. That's Poogie. Oh, okay. Cool. That's surprising with how critical mounting is in the game. My guess is, from a pure board game standpoint, I don't know how you would go about mounting. One, because like from a visual standpoint, you would have to essentially have every mini be able to sit on every monster if you wanted to do it visually, and that would probably be a huge, you would need multiple minis of each type, because you need one standing and then one like mounted, and that way you can kind of place on top of the, I think it would be a bit of a nightmare, but yeah. But all right, look at that spear. Holy crap, that's a long spear. Look at that. Boom. Very, very cool, though. The hunters are very cool. And they are very normal-sized minis, but, man, they just feel so small. We got Big Club. Oof, so cool. So they had a blog on it. The long short of it is they couldn't get it non-fiddly, and given that certain weapons mounted more than others, decided to leave it out in favor of gameplay. I agree. I think one thing I like about the game is it is not a very fiddly game. It's pretty smooth. It works pretty fast. Like, each quest is like an hour. They're fast. Lance, not spear. Nah, it's a spear. That's a gun. That's a gun. That's a gun right there. Holy crap. Again, very dark elf. Very dark Eldar looking. Very spiky bits. You love to see it. Oof. Look at that. It's so cool. I do love these huge oversized weapons. Hom, not a club. You can't prove it. You can't prove it. Love it. Now that's a freaking hammer? How strong must this human be? Look at this big old thing. Now that's a club. That's a club right there. Huh. Very cool. I love this one. This one might be my favorite. I think it's so cool. And now that's a gun right there. If I've ever seen a gun, that's a gun right there. Just, you'll love to see it. That is so freaking cool. Man, look at a 12-gauge shotgun. Easy. Clearly, I know Monster Hunter World very well. Can you blow a club? If you feel like it. All right. That is the Hunters. Again, that is just going to be the Hunters Arsenal pack, which again is just Hunters. And again, some more quests for monsters that already exist. Yeah, these ones are easy. So easy to see where they go. Boom. So that is all of that. And again, their own little book shows the rules. And then again, more quests for different monsters. Boom. So that is our Hunter's Arsenal right there. You can see it. It's very large. Is that a monster insect? Probably. All right. So that is the Hunter's Arsenal. So that's how you get more Hunters. Again, mostly it's more monsters. But we do get, what was it? How many? 6? How many was in here? Yeah, 6 more Hunters on the back, which is very cool because it gives you more ways to do your stuff. All right, so now we got Kuluyaku, big old bird. It reminds me, has anyone read the Codex Alera, the book series, the Codex Alera? If you have, this reminds me of Herdbanes. If you've ever read the Codex Alera, you know, you know. Bonk Bros. This reminds me of Herdbanes in the Codex Alera series. So there's a weird reference that probably no one will understand. All right, so again, same rule book. You'll get some rules for the Kuluyaku, and then, of course, their quests as well. And then their forge stuff, so how you can specifically forge weapons made from their body parts. And then, of course, their quests, because they need quests. Their little quest book, which is very cool. And then we'll get their monster cards right here. And again, their rewards tables. Yeah, they do have great monster designs. So what these are, if I remember correctly, these are just alternate sculpts of they're just alternate sculpts of, does it say? I have to double check that, but I believe these are not new hunters. They're just alternate sculpts of hunters. Like this is I think it's called the Big Blade guy. I'm pretty sure that's canon. That's the actual name. So this is Big Blade guy, and this is essentially just an alternate sculpt. So if you wanted a different sculpt for that mini, I believe these were stretch goals, very cool. But they also have Palico minis. So if you're playing a 2-player or a 1-player game, you will have Palico, or it's Palico, I'm not entirely sure, I believe it's Palico, which are basically little familiars, little friends that'll help you out. Serious boys, I believe Poogie is in here, probably. So I'll go real in on these ones. So these are your little Palicos. So now there's little minis for your Palicos. Look at them. That is correct, alt sculpts. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, so these are essentially stretch goal alt sculpts. So cute, they're so small. Look at it. Look at it. That's amazing. Rhymes with calico? Okay, that's how I've been saying it, yeah. Look at the little sword. He's like, ah! Yeah! Big Blade Being. Thank you, Dave Phillips. Boom, boom, boom. Ah, yeah, ah, ah. Come at me. Come at me. Love to see it. And then boom. So cute. So these are little Palicos. What's up, Icarus? That you will get in this kind of like a little stretch goal box, basically. Boom, 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 boom. Very, very cute. You'll love to see it. Pet the Poogie. Which one is Poogie? In this case, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which one is Poogie? I don't know which one that is. But I know you're very excited about it, and I'm excited for you. I'm going to keep these in order so you can tell me. Oh no, hold on. There's one more. There's a pig. Is it the pig? There's a little pig here. Is it the pig? It's got to be the pig. Because here's the thing, this is the only calico I care about, is this one right here, the pig one. This is all I want. I pet the pig. Look at it. It's so silly. Okay. Boom. So now we're getting alt sculpts. Okay. I guess that was it. Very cool alt sculpts. This one's rad. I really like the one hand out. Just be like, ah, I think that's rad. That's very cool. Again, another boom. Very, very cool. Perfect 10 out of 10. No notes. Thank you. So I got again our alternate sculpts. It's cool. They add. That's one thing I like about like. If you're gonna do like Kickstarter stretch goals and stuff like that, I really like alternate sculpts because it doesn't change the game at all. It's just like cool. It's just extra cool stuff. The dual blade, you love to see it. Very cool. Very, very cool. All righty. Cruising through. So this is the other bow. Very cool. Oh, look at that. It's like, ha! Ha! Yeah. 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 Very cool. Oh, and then we got our Drukhari back, our spiky friend. Look at all the spikes. Some little details in there, they'd be so much fun to paint. Yeah, these, the small ones, despite their relatively small size, they put a ton of detail into these minis, which is very cool. And then, oh, I already showed this one off. Okay. Boom. Okay, so that is going to be that one, except for the monster, which I will show right now. Let's get these back in their places. Boom. Okay. And again, for a monster, this one is just tiny comparatively. It just feels so small for one of the monsters. But again, it reminds me of a Herdbane, if anyone knows, you know. But very, very cool. Great looking bird. I would paint this thing as colorful as humanly possible. In the art, it's very like, so it's interesting. It looks like they're holding a rock here, but in the picture, they're definitely holding an egg. Is it supposed to be an egg? That looks like a big old rock. But hey, they're definitely like kind of like white and yellow. I would definitely be painting them as bright and colorful as humanly possible. I am guessing a lot of the lore will come through the hunting. Yeah, Kuluyaku. Okay, and then that is this set right here. Boom, Kuluyaku. But there, and that again gives you, they hold both. Okay, cool. That makes sense. So it gets rocks and eggs, and it's annoying as all get out to fight. Rocks to attack you. I figured they would just throw the rocks at you or something. Okay, cool. So yes, it's kind of cool. They have the egg in the art, but a rock in the thing. Yeah. So that is here again, just new monster and alternate sculpts, and the Palico minis, which are very, very cute and very cool. Very cool. All right, so that is that one. Okay, so now we're just going straight up monsters. So Teostra, it looks like. So again, 85 health to start with. Holy bananas. Remember, the Great Jaguars had 50 to start with. That is bonkers. Oh my gosh. Get some more Tokis. And of course, our own rule book for how they work, adding to the campaign. Oh gosh, how cool does that thing look though? Oh, that's so awesome looking. And then of course, more quests. Cards, and then their behavior cards, and then these cards are going to be some more time cards, but mostly the kind of things that you can build by defeating them. And then, of course, their behavior cards. Boom. And then this, like, chimera-looking thing. Holy crap. This thing is cool. It's an Elder Dragon. I guess so. So that's what it looks like from the top. It looks great. Yeah, it's very, very cool wings. And yeah, it looks like a big old lion. Look at that thing. He's just like, wow. That's how I assume they sound. So cool. Da 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 da. So I hope Iceborne brings in the crazier looking weapons. They very much might. I mean, you got to assume they're going to go at least as hard as they did in this one. And they went pretty darn hard in this one. Again, make sure to check the link out that is popped in chat and down in the description. Check out Iceborne. It'll be launching in a couple weeks. It's a little bit off, little time away. I mean, and so yeah, very, very cool. This might be my favorite of the minis so far. I just love it. It's so cool, so like regal, and so awesome. And the wings look great. Just bonkers, absolutely bonkers. So that's all that's in this one. So again, the rest of these are all just boop. Just monsters with some extra stuff. Again, so strong. Elder Dragon, Teostra, amazing. Bam. Look at that. Look how cool that is. And it's going against that other big one, the Diablo, right? Lion King, pretty much. That's what it feels like. Okay. So now we have Nergigante, looks like. Nergigante. Very cool looking. Boom. Again, per usual, rule book, quest stuff. We got another Elder Dragon. I think a lot of these are Elder Dragons, which makes sense. Gosh, look at it. This has got so much going on. Oh my stars. Ay, ay, ay. Nerg is just a giant cat, is that right? So this one we have wings that attach. And again, per usual, cards that you can upgrade with, and then more of their behavior stuff. Is this a giant kitten? wings on. Oh, this one's fit nicely. Oh, we got to back out a little bit of this one. Da, 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 da. Dang. Ooh, look at those wings. Look at the expansive wings. It's the main antagonist from Monster Hunter World video game. Oh, is that right? Okay. Man, look at this thing. That is bonkers. Look at my hand. That is so insane. Like, look how big this is. That's just so insanely large. So cool, though. Oof. So cool. Again, now we're just sheer eye candy town. Bam. Then again on the table, it looked like that. It's just moving around, trying to kill you. Terrifying. I wish I should have kept a hunter out to show the difference. Don't poke yourself in the eye. Yeah, these ones are some serious spiky bits. Look at these things. Oh my gosh. Just insane. Whew. Love it. For a mini enthusiast, it's very cool. That's why I painted the Great Jaguars. I'll probably paint the rest of these because it's just fun to paint monsters. And I honestly think it's easier to paint monsters than most other kinds of minis because you kind of can't mess it up. Boom. Did I put this in wrong? Did I put that in wrong? Did I? No. No, it must be like this. Yeah. Okay. All right, so that is Nergigante. All right. So now we're going to go on to the one part that's not, we'll save the biggest box for last. So this is, again, not part of the, all-in pledge. These are just color variations of the two main dragons in the base game. So you can see, because one, what do they call it? I can't remember what to say. The Azure Rathalos and the Black Diablos, now they are Azure and Black. So again, so it's the same exact minis, except for this one is actually, the plastic itself is black. That is the difference. Yeah, no. So, is this the right one? Yes, it is. Is this the right one? Yeah, that's definitely the right one. Just having a hard time getting that one in there. So basically, now we have a black version of the Black Diablo. And so this, I believe, is available on their website, this box right here. Especially if you weren't planning on painting them, this might be a cool choice if you really want them to be their correct colors. It does look very, very cool. Again, it's a little dark on the camera, but pretty dope. And then we have the Azure Rathalos, which again now kind of feels small compared to some of the other ones. But nonetheless, and then boom. So now we have a blue version. I do really like how the blue version looks. So that's what this is. Blue and black versions of these here dragons. And again, these are available on the Steamforged website, I believe. So boom, very cool. Oh gosh, can I remember how this goes back in? Oh, stars, I should have paid better attention when I was taking this out. Wasn't at all, though. Okay, that one's fine. Okay, hold on, everybody. Hold on, everybody calm down. No, this must be like this. No, this must be like this. No, this must be like this. Haha! Okay, that's definitely like that. That's it. Oh, that was easy. Oh man, that was easy. So we're gonna go boom, back into there, and then boom. And again, no cards, nothing else in this one because it's just this. If you bought just this, you still need a core set and everything like that. It's just the color variations for the monsters. So yeah, so again, this is available on the website. This is not available. This is not part of the all-in pledge. Just want to make that very, very clear. And again, make sure to check out and bookmark the new campaign that's coming out. Okay, last box coming up here. Other than the core boxes, that's the biggest one. Kushala Daora. It's one dragon. It's just one. And they kept, this one I had to like cut these things off. It does have a little tail. Come on. Come on, there we go. So we get cards, again, per usual, and a behavior deck. And is this the one where it's all underneath? Yes. So the rule book for this one and the stuff is underneath the insert. Just know that. It's underneath the insert. That's where all the stuff is. But here we got, let's put our tail on. Oh my gosh. Boom. That's so ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Boom. So that's what it would be. I really should have pulled out one of the hunters. The hunter will be about this big next to this thing. Be like this. Be right like that. So yeah. Crazy wings. I mean, look at these things. Oof. Oof. I really like it's almost like instead of being scaly, it's more like just layered, which I think is really cool. I think it'd be a really interesting paint. Very, very cool. I mean, just an absolute literal monster of a mini. I mean, that's humongous. This I probably would just paint and then keep out because it's so huge. And I'm not even like a huge dragon fan in general. I like dragons just fine, but they're nowhere near my favorite fantasy creatures. But this one is very, very cool. So yeah, that is boom. Kushala Daora. Man, just bonkers. Wait, hold on. Let me grab one hunter. Let's just see. Let's just see. So, slight difference. Slight difference. This is supposed to beat this thing? Get out of here. Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. The difference in scale. Oh my gosh. Bam. So this thing's flying around going like, hey, I'm going to kill you, 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 I'm going to kill you. Boom. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. And that is it, my fam. That is a quick overview and an extensive look. So insane. Realistic indeed. At Monster Hunter World all-in pledge, plus a little extra with those color variations for the dragons. Boom. So that is going to be it. Paint him metal. Ooh, metal. Oh my gosh, that would be bonkers. That'd be so difficult. So there we go. Again, big shout out to Steamforged Games for sponsoring this unboxing and for the playthrough that's coming up here. We'll be having, again, a playthrough of just like the assignment quest for the Great Jagras, the first one, just to show you how the game works. That'll be coming out not this Monday, but next Monday. And yeah, so again, make sure to check out the new campaign. It'll be linked down in the description below. Hope you enjoyed this little box. We enjoy doing these unboxings / kind of like quick overviews. It's kind of a fun way to kind of go about the game and talk about the game. And just look at some freaking cool dragons. yeah, it's pretty darn awesome. All right, fam, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I hope you all had a wonderful rest of your game. Again, keep an eye out for that playthrough. Does his behavior change if you break the head? I'm not sure. I haven't looked into this one that much at all because I have not gotten anywhere near fighting this dragon. But nonetheless, have a wonderful rest of your day. We will see you later, and bye-bye.